Now let the beat ride.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of High Chicago. It's your boy Sean here with the homies Aaron, JV, MC. What's good, everybody? Before I get into how everybody's doing, I want to give a quick shout out, right? So the intro music that we got for this episode was produced by Celestial Music. That's an independent Chicago label. The music is dope. Check them out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. They got some fire content. Appreciate you guys for hooking us up with the intro music. That aside, now what's good, everybody? It's been a while since we've been together. Aaron, I know last time we talked, you were out in Ohio. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing better now that I'm home. Hated that stupid ass city, and I hated what they made me do out there.
Yeah, because I heard they finessed the hell out of you.
Yeah, I went out there. I was supposed to book it through my. I was supposed to book through my job's travel site, and they that was down because they have stopped travel. So I had to get approval from my my VP.
Okay.
And then I had to pay out of pocket, and then I have to get reimbursed, which I should get paid next pay period.
Wait, hold up.
Wait. Next pay period, bro? Like, when is next pay period? You talking about like mid-July?
No, next Friday. That'll be next Friday rather than
that's July 10th, man. That's
but how much did you have to come out of pocket, bro? Was it like $10? Was it $100?
No, it was $960 total.
$960
just for the hotel.
That's wild.
Yo, Aaron, you need to leave somebody a voicemail and be like, "It's my money and I need it now."
Yeah, you better call JG Whitworth.
Yep.
Don't tell my black ass to go ahead and go home. We don't need you.
Well, yeah, you
Forever,
right,
bro.
right.
Damn.
You right.
Principal
You
asked me
do
to
that.
spend a stack. You
That's
gonna reimburse me
crazy.
in 2 weeks? That's insane, bro.
Ooh,
Yeah, I wish it was quicker. I do wish it was quicker for sure.
Oh, at least
Luckily,
you
you're in a
get your
position where
money
you
back.
had it, right? Exactly, and you were in a position where you had it. Because if you didn't have it, then what?
Right.
Yeah, I've been shit out of luck.
Exactly. But I'm glad that you're back home safe, bro. Appreciate you joining us on the episode. JV, you were absent last week. Is everything cool on your end, bro?
Yeah, man. So I just returned home. I've been traveling a lot lately, and I came home and bro, my house got broken into.
What?
Yeah. So they didn't steal anything, but like we've been having
That's
a
'cause you
lot
ain't
of
got
birth.
shit.
Excuse me.
Can't steal what you ain't got, my guy. That's how that works.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and they was like, "Nah, we good."
That's true. Outside of that
Facts.
TV over there, ain't nothing really here. But the point that I'm making is, people in this neighborhood, they're not actually like breaking into people's houses, stealing valuable things like my brand new steak knives that I bought for $159. They're not.
They don't even cook.
Those, regardless, when you middle class, you just buy things. They didn't steal those kind of things. They just make your life inconvenient. So they had turned my air conditioner off. Boy, it was 96 degrees when I got back in my house. I was mad as hell. I'm like, how y'all go break into my house? And then they took my mop bucket, so now I can't mop the floor. They took the broom.
You know what? I'm gonna be that type of criminal. Just going and moving shit around.
Yeah, they moved all my
Move the
medicine
cups
in my
from
medicine.
what?
They took my aspirin out the medicine cabinet and hid it in the closet. I had found some Tylenol in the closet. I'm like, what the hell is this Tylenol? They just acting the fool out here. So I will be live on the news tomorrow talking about these break-ins in Eastern Iowa.
Speaking
Bro,
of
I'm
news,
so sorry you got to deal with that.
Speaking of news, didn't your governor run over somebody today or something like that?
I'm gonna sound just like her. This is how she sounds. Well, I'm sorry. It was just somebody in the way, and we told them to move. And gosh, she just ran them down. Yeah, Kim Reynolds didn't have to run over that black man like that. She ain't have to do that.
They wilding out there in Iowa, bro.
She ain't have to
Man,
do
acting a fool. MC out in Texas. How you doing? Word on the street is you might be getting evicted.
Well, where do you want to begin? I mean, we're still code red in Texas.
Makes sense because y'all are stupid. Go ahead. But bar lives matter according to Texas. But go ahead.
Bar lives or whatever. Yeah, they did close everything back down, so everybody's a little salty right now.
Makes sense.
I did forget to renew my lease before today, so that's going to be an
Jesus.
interesting conversation tomorrow morning with with some people. And then, yeah, I mean, other than that, it's just working every day. because you can't do nothing else here.
Making that money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't forget to pay the people that own the place you live.
You know, I do.
True.
Yeah, that's very important.
But I forgot to sign the paper that said, "Hey, do you want to stay here so that we don't raise your rent?" And my dumb ass forgot to do that part. So now I got to go beg some people.
So somebody on Twitter said we should start a GoFundMe for you anyway. So if anybody out there wants to donate to Mary Claire's cause, her Twitter is @sincerelymc.
I believe his name is Arthur. You can hand over that check any day of the week that you're feeling friendly. Whatever.
There's just no way he's under 70.
Yeah, I got $5. That's about it.
I read it today, but I have 4 days to pay it until I get a fee. So you could just slide right through them DMs.
True.
Well, speaking of money, right? I want to announce the contest that I put out there on our Instagram and on our Twitter a couple of days ago, right? So it's called the 50 for 50 raffle. So the goal is by Monday to have 50 subscribers to the show, okay? And if we get those 50 subscribers, each one of them is going to be entered into a raffle to win $50 via Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Pay, you name it, right? We'll send it your way. There's 2 ways you have to qualify. 1, you got to be subscribed to the show, obviously. And then 2, you have to leave a comment on this episode specifically. Who do you agree with? Who do you disagree with? Your thoughts in general, just any sort of comment in general will have you then enter to win said raffle. So hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, give us a like, hit that bell. We really appreciate you guys. You guys got that contest, right? It's coming out of my pocket anyway, but I'm sure y'all are cool with it.
That's fine with me.
I mean, you blocked me on Cash App, so I'm going away.
That's because you asked for stupid money for no reason. But regardless of the point,
I'm gonna be the 50th subscriber. I haven't subscribed to the channel yet myself, so I'm waiting to 49.
Oh,
and I'm gonna hit
my
the
God.
button. And baby, I want my 50, or I will be calling my attorney.
Okay.
So I'm done with JV in this moment. I'm going to kind of get into what we're going to talk about today. So I have a really bad habit of when I click a link on an article, right, going down a rabbit hole, and I look at article after article after article, and next thing I know, 4 or 5 hours of my day has been spent reading some specific topic, right? So I want to talk about one that really caught my attention. It's about a woman in El Salvador who claimed to have a miscarriage after 7 months, but the police and a judge didn't believe her because her doctors wound up accusing her of having an abortion. If you guys don't know, in El Salvador, abortions have been illegal since 1998, okay? This woman was sentenced to 30 years in prison, even though there was no real evidence that she, in fact, did commit an abortion, right? And to me, that is crazy as hell. So then I start looking at how the U.S. operates, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It wouldn't shock me if the U.S. was close to something like that, because a lot of states are kind of heading down that path already, right? I mean, some of the laws are wild as hell. We'll kind of dive into some states specifically in a little bit, but Mary Claire, as the woman on the show, I want to get your thoughts initially just on abortion in general. You for it? You against it? The floor is yours.
All right, that's fair. I mean, yes, I'm a woman. I've had a little bit of experience with learning things probably before most men do, because the fact that I am a girl and I can have babies. From a young age, I was taught, what to do, when to do, how to do it type of thing. As far as abortion goes, I'm pro-choice. But I do understand that there are situations that come across where people find themselves more pro-life. And I get that. I understand it. Not everyone is perfect. Everyone is allowed to have a choice. So if your choice is to be pro-life, then that's your choice. So I was raised in a Catholic family. Most religious people tend to be raised, pro-life. And so I understand when you're raised in a situation like that, sometimes you don't have anything else to look at, anything else to learn from your parents, lead by example type of thing. But I was raised in a different household. My mom is a little bit more open-minded. I didn't have my dad in my life. So we were raised, you do have a choice, but my parents always had us make decisions based off their influence, obviously. But when I was younger, I was raised, I'm going to do what's best for me in the moment. So I think pro-choice comes into play when it could be a situation like incest or rape, assault. Right. You never know. If that happened to myself or a young woman, I think they should have the say whether or not they're allowed to have an abortion, because that's that's going to take a toll on them. And that child was created in a way it's too hard to understand, you know?
All right, so I agree with that completely, right? And I believe that a woman should have the right to have an abortion at any point in time, no matter the circumstances personally, right? But I also believe that depending on circumstances, a man should have some sort of say-so as well. Again, there's various cases, various reasons as to why the male shouldn't. So it depends on the situation. But again, I think the woman should have the right to decide what she wants to do with her body, ultimately, no matter what. And the fact that there's government legislations that say otherwise is fucking wild. JV, first of all, do you agree with Mary Claire or not? Is my first question. And then my second question, as somebody who has a son with a woman you're not married to, just what are your thoughts on that in general too?
I partially agree with Mary Claire. I know that it will be kind of hard to legislate abortions, for example, per se. But in my opinion, I feel as though if somebody is just getting an abortion just to get one just for the heck of it because they're not practicing safe sex, or they're just out here not even attempting to have safe sex and just having sex with any and everybody, and then they get pregnant and like, okay, cool, I'm getting an abortion, I think that's problematic. Because then you have to ask ourselves, like, well, where are we morally in our country at that point? And don't get me wrong, again, that's going to be hard to legislate. So I can understand that's a slippery slope, but that's just kind of my position on it. I agree with Mary Claire in the sense of, somebody is raped, somebody have a situation happen to them, like incest or anything like that, for sure, they should be able to say what they want to do with their bodies. But I feel like if somebody, again, is not just practicing safe sex and they're just out here getting abortions all willy-nilly, I feel like that's a danger to not only them, but then, just the abortion system as a whole. But to answer your second part of the question about being a father, I can understand people who have the pro-choice mindset. I can understand that because again, at the end of the day, the woman is carrying this child. So I can understand that. But I also think that a man should have a say too. And if a man says to a woman, no, I'm not ready to have this child, I don't think that we should bring this child into this world. But then she decides to do that anyway, then should that man be financially responsible for that situation? Me personally, I don't think...
Pause. I'm sorry, real quick. Because you're going to dive into something I want to dive into a little bit more in depth. But okay. I want to bring Aaron in and then Mary Claire also, right? Aaron, my question for you is, JV said that women who have unprotected sex multiple times really shouldn't have the right to have an abortion, right? Because they're choosing to, again, have unprotected sex. You agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that because it doesn't make sense. How does it affect you? Now, I can understand if maybe you have some sort of moral fucking qualm with it.
Right.
Right? But it doesn't actually make sense. Here's the thing. Someone's choice to have unprotected sex is their choice, just as someone choosing to get an abortion is also their choice.
Yeah.
All right? There should be no sort of stipulations or whatever just because you believe someone's having unprotected sex and that precludes them from having the ability to get an abortion. I think it's wild. How does that affect you? I can see if maybe there was some sort of health issue. Let me finish. I can see if maybe there was some sort of underlying health issue that would prevent them from having an abortion and where they'd have to have that child. But I don't see a reason to legislate someone having unprotected sex when it comes to getting an abortion. It doesn't make sense.
Mary Claire, go ahead. Hold on, Mary Claire, and then JV, go ahead.
I'm kind of like, I don't mean to laugh, but I'm kind of sitting here like thinking about what you said like 2 minutes ago when you were like, yeah, it messes with the abortion system. What part of that system does it mess with? Because it's not like it's a resource, but it's not like we're running low on it. It's not like, I don't know.
No one's like, oh my God.
That point didn't make sense. Yeah, that point didn't make sense.
It kind of feels to me though, because it's, like Aaron said, it's still her choice. So it doesn't affect you in this case. So we're kind of being contradicting by saying like, nah, that one person shouldn't have a choice.
Okay, so let me pose a question to all three of you guys. So if something doesn't affect me personally, then you feel as though there should be no legislation to it?
I don't think that's what Aaron was asking.
That's not at all.
No. What Aaron just said, wait, hear me out.
Okay, so can I...
Wait, let me give you more
context once you finish. Let me give you more context once you finish.
Stay with me. Aaron just said, both Aaron and Mary Claire, but Aaron, specifically Aaron, just said we shouldn't have legislation on abortions. And how does that affect you, JV? You know, people killing each other over in Chicago don't affect me either, but I don't think that that's right. You know, you have all kind of things happening in America that are going on that may not necessarily affect me. If I was a middle class white man, I would say, well, black people not having equality, that doesn't affect me. So why should I care? So I think at some point in our society, in our country, there has to be some type of moral compass. I'm agreeing with you all in the sense by saying, yes, you all are right. I know he ran. I'm almost done. Yes, I think it is true in the sense that no, it is hard to legislate something like that, because how can you decipher between, oh, ma'am, did you get raped, or did you just say this because you don't have
the court of law, the justice system? What do you mean?
No. What I'm saying, hear me out, Sean. What I'm trying to say is that it becomes a slippery slope. So I don't think that would ever even be a situation. But I'm saying if we're looking at the moral compass of society, at some point in time, you do have to draw lines. And I'm just saying, if it was able to be legislation, I don't think that girl out there that's just, having sex with any and everybody, getting abortions every other week, should be out here getting abortions every other week. At what point in time?
But,
why?
I have something for
safety. But go ahead.
I have something for you. Those are all, everything you brought up is a false equivalency.
Okay.
All of those things that you brought up, they're actually physically harming people. And my exact argument was, if there is no physical harm coming to this person who's getting an abortion, then there should be no legislation keeping them from getting an abortion. All right, so that was my exact argument. So if the person is getting an abortion and it's not harming their health, why does that affect you? No one's being harmed.
So are we saying abortion is not harmful? Abortion?
No, I didn't say that. Did I say that? Did I say that? Did I say that, JD? Because it sounds like you're jumping to a conclusion that wasn't there. I said if it's not harming that person. I said if it's not harming that person, then why should you have any say in what they're doing with their body? Why, JV?
Okay.
Let's
JV, the floor is yours. JV, the floor is yours.
Go ahead.
So our moral compass now is in the United States of America is if it's not harming that person, then cool.
Or any other people.
Or any other people. Okay, so what about that baby though? What about that 6 month? What about the 6 month? So
people don't get.
Hang on. Wait.
Put that out there. Way too long.
Everybody, stop for 2 seconds, please, because you guys are all over the place right now. Mary Claire, talk.
JB, what you just said contradicts the whole purpose of being pro-choice. You are no longer giving people a choice when you make that many specifications on the people who are allowed to have a choice. You are no longer pro-choice. So I don't know what side you're on now.
It doesn't actually make sense. Side doesn't make sense right now.
No, what I'm saying is, let me be very clear, Mr.
I know what you're saying, but what I'm clarifying is you have a problem with this one particular group of individuals making a choice, but that doesn't necessarily exclude them from the category. They're still women. They still have a body. They still had a baby inside them, and they're making a choice.
All I'm saying is that I don't think that legislation would ever allow for that to be. But I'm saying if you're speaking from a moral compass standpoint in society, I can understand why people would say that person is having unprotected sex all willy-nilly out there, getting abortions every other week. Maybe that person needs to do better by them with their choices. That's all I'm saying.
That's such a conservative mindset.
But at the end of the day, hear me out. Let me just finish that. But B-U-T, comma, whatever. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I do agree that a woman should have that choice to make and say, hey, cool, I'm getting an abortion, woo, wop, the bam. At the same time, that man should also have a choice and a say into that. And Sean, you said that
does it depend on, let's just go there
depending
now,
on the situation, yeah.
Okay, bet. So what situations is it okay for you, JV, for man to have a say?
Mm-hmm.
I think a man should have a say as long as it's not in the situation where this man raped this woman, this man sexually assaulted this woman, it was some type of incest situation. I think if that wasn't the situation at all, I think a man should have a say. I think if I go out here and have sex with a woman, and we, obviously wanted to have sex with one another, and she becomes pregnant, and she says, hey, I don't think I want to keep this baby, and I say, I would like to have my future son or future daughter, I think I should have a say in that. I think that should be something that, should be able to be heard. Or something along those lines. Something should be legislated in that. And at the same time, in the same breath, if a woman say, I'm having this baby, and I say, hey, I'm young, I'm not ready to have a kid, we made a situation that we made a mistake, we shouldn't have done this, we shouldn't be bringing a kid into this world. I think that also a man should not be financially responsible for that kid in that situation. I think it's a double-edged situation in there.
JV, just playing devil's advocate in this same situation. Is that man also being irresponsible?
Yeah, of course. Both parties are being irresponsible. I'm not denying that. But
your morality issue. You should just charge them and make them have the baby, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, because your morality issue still applies to this same guy who went and had unprotected sex with this girl.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. I agree with this in the same breath. I would say any guy that's out here having sex with all these women, having all these kids all around the world, if you're not financially able to provide for these kids, or you're not there physically able to provide and raise these kids, you too need to have some of your rights taken away. Oh yeah, I'm very conservative in that mindset. Like when you see those shows like Maury Povich, people talking about, oh, this is my 9th kid or whatever the case may be, and then you own my tax dollars are paying for all these children. I have a problem with that. I definitely do. I definitely have a problem with that.
Okay.
You just break into a southern accent?
No,
a little
I'm
bit.
sorry.
So Jay, that makes sense, kinda. Not really, but like I see what you're trying to get at, right? So then let me ask you this, right? So do you feel like in your current situation that you had a choice? I don't know if other people know what you got going on.
No. I told them, I didn't have a choice. When in 2010, when my son's mother was pregnant, her and I, we had a conversation. I mean, actually, we went and bought Plan B right after the situation at CVS. But apparently that didn't work. But the point that I'm making is that I did have a conversation with her about, hey, I'm living in New York, you living in Illinois, we both haven't graduated college yet, woo out the bam. She had the baby, my son is 9 years old. I am financially responsible for my son. I'm in my son's life. I'll be picking him up on Friday. In my personal opinion, I just feel like, a man should have a say. And I think that's why it's so important when you just think about society as a whole. That's why they say, you want to be evenly yoked. You shouldn't be having sex before marriage. You shouldn't be in these type of situations. I know that's so conservative, but if you think about it, and it is, but if you think about it, you would avoid all of those societal hiccups if you do play by those rules. So again, whether you're religious or not, but think about it. If you meet somebody that's on the same wavelength as you, y'all married, y'all have a kid, more often than not, you won't have those same situations that the baby mama, baby daddy's having if you play by those rules. And again, I understand that's conservative thinking, but a lot of people would avoid the situations that they find themselves.
So peep this then, JV, peep this, right? You just said that you had unprotected sex, and you went and got the Plan B pill right away. What's the difference between that and abortion to you?
It's technically they call it the abortion pill, just so you know, JV.
I'm aware. I think to my understanding, when you take a Plan B after I just skeeted at somebody, it's preventing that skeet to go from to the egg. I don't know
I don't believe that's how Plan B actually works.
the way
just so you know,
the way I saw the commercial, I'm just being honest. I'm being serious.
That's how it works. There's a big difference.
Go ahead, Mary Claire. It seemed like you are expert at Plan B pills. Can you tell us?
Jesus,
that I didn't mean it like that. No, I just meant like.
As a woman, I have taken one before. I will be honest and vulnerable in this call.
Okay.
But when it comes to those types of backup plans, hence the Plan B, it will only work within a certain time frame because it keeps the uterine wall from allowing everything to attach and happen, essentially. Whereas when you have an abortion, you have to find out, one, are you pregnant first, and then two, move on with the process depending on how far along you are, because there's two different ways that you can have an abortion. There's the medical way, where I believe it's before 5 weeks, then you can take a certain pill or a trial set of medicine, and it'll make the abortion happen like more naturally.
I think it's up to 12 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, okay, there you go. And then the other way is pretty much surgically, which most people think of, and they think of an abortion. So
Yeah.
there's a big difference.
Yeah, that is a big difference. So I'm just to wrap it real quick, John. Then I'm just saying, for me, I don't think that that's the same thing when you are taking a pill right after you had sex with somebody to prevent that ovulation situation to even start, versus, like you say, somebody actually having to get in surgery, something going up in them, getting whatever out. That's the abortion process. Or the other one where Mary Claire was talking about, where you put the pills on the side of your mouth and you have to take that, which is more naturally. And you put them in, you swallow the pills, and it's like this natural process.
How do you think you take pills? I'm trying to figure that one out. Is that what you do? Do you put them in each cheek and then drink water? Is that how you take pills?
What? When I was at the abortion clinic, that's how it was. It was like you put. It was hard.
That's fine. JV is fine. Let me reel us back in real quick, right? JV, appreciate your thoughts, though. Mary Claire, thank you for your education. Really, thank you, because you didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, no clue
at all.
Y'all can kiss my.
But here's what pisses me off the most, right? Is that I don't think the laws really take quality of life into consideration, and I'll give you some examples of what I mean, right? A Detroit man was convicted of raping a 12-year-old girl. Convicted. She got pregnant with his child, decided to keep it, and he was later on awarded joint custody of said child. They actually gave him her address and put him on the birth certificate without consent. So now he showed up to the kid's life, right? What does that do for the kid's mindset, the mom's mindset, right? Mm-hmm. That quality of life is terrible. In Arkansas, law passed where it's going to let rapists stop victims from having an abortion. Like, they're going to have a say-so in that. There's so many laws in states that don't protect you from rape. They don't protect you from incest. But they also don't protect you from genetic defects either. And to me, that's mind blowing. So if my child was going to have Down syndrome, in some states, it's illegal for me to have an abortion because of that fact. But that could affect the child's quality of life, my quality of life, my wife's quality of life, or whoever is going to have the child, right? So why is that even a law? Why is that even legal? Aaron, why do you think that is, bro?
I mean, a lot of it probably stems from religion, because it does seem like a lot of those states with the more restrictive abortion laws do tend to be the Bible Belt states. JV knows exactly what I'm talking about. Your Mississippi's, your Alabamas, Arkansas, like you just named. I think religion does play a huge part in how they view abortion. A lot of them do believe that life begins at inception, which I'm not 100% sure if that's in the Bible. There's a chance it is. I have not read it. But they tend to value the embryo's life way more than they value the actual child's.
Woman's life. Or the
woman or child. Either one.
Right.
They seem to value that life a whole lot more. It's like, oh, you have to have this baby. This baby is going to be beautiful. And then once the baby's out, they don't give a damn about the baby.
Or the woman who could be traumatized from having the kid, or could have health risks from having the child, right? Or who could turn out to be a horrible parent because she didn't even want the kid at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's all from Mary Claire. What you got?
Okay, so I have a question. Can I ask something?
Yeah, shoot.
Go ahead.
So we're talking heavily on religion and why that probably has an effect on why there's nothing protecting women in certain states with these laws, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think of this scenario. You've got a man and a woman who are married, and there are some men out there who feel they can have sex whenever they want, but obviously we know that's rape.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're married, some people don't consider it rape because you're married to the person. So let's say the wife gets pregnant and she doesn't want to keep the baby. Now she wants an abortion. How do you solve that problem?
JV, Aaron?
Yeah, let me jump in real quick, Aaron. I would just say again, that's why I say it's such a slippery slope, because there's never going to be legislation that's going to take care of every single situation. But again, if that woman says that she's raped, whether she's married, whether she's in a relationship, whether that's her boyfriend, that's just a side guy, if she says she's raped or she was raped, I feel like that trumps everything. Now, I understand you're going to have some people going to be like, oh, but wait, they were married. No. If a woman says, hey, I was raped, yeah, that was my husband, But it's no different than women that get abused, right? They sometimes be in marriages and they abused and they get raped and they get beat up and all kind of stuff. So again, I don't think that marriage like overthrows that or trumps that. I think again, if a woman says that she was raped, then she was raped, and she should be able to go by whatever laws and regulations that are out there that say she can get an abortion. I totally agree.
But the problem is the laws and regulations don't allow her to do that in certain states, bro. But that's the issue.
So again, that's why I feel as though the United States of America is kind of backwards in that, because we have so many different states with so many different laws and regulations. You're right. Aaron was talking about with your Bible bill. Even in Tennessee, they just passed the heartbeat, abortion law down there in Tennessee. So again, what you have is that's why it's so important to vote. Let me say that.
Very
because
true.
You have all these, not even being racist, but traditionally white men making rules and regulations about how this country is going to go. And they're seeing it from their prism. They're seeing it from their viewpoint.
Most likely always older white men too.
Exactly. So if they're not seeing things from a minority standpoint, whether you're a woman trying to get an abortion or you're a black person trying to get a job, they're not seeing it from that viewpoint. So that's why the laws and regulations are what they are. And it's us millennials, and even our younger people. I forgot what they Gen Z. It's you. They show you they don't care about what you're talking about. It's up to us to go to that voting box and show why we should take care of politics on a local level. It's more than just the president, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump. You need to be voting on your local level, because those are the people who truly ruling what you got going on in your county and your state. So you can't put it on Donald Trump because you can't get an abortion, because you probably couldn't get no abortion in Arkansas years before Donald Trump was even thought about. You see what I'm saying? So
these are facts, bro.
Yeah,
and that's a great way to kind of conclude it, right? Because we could talk about this for hours. So many different ways, different scenarios that we could dive into, right? But the point is again, for me, the U.S. legislation on abortion in general is dumb as hell.
Absolutely.
It's dumb as hell. And again, a woman should have the right to choose what she does or does not want to do, what's in her body, period. Right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Right. If you've been rocking with us from day one, thank you for continuing to listen to our show. If it's your first time listening, hopefully you like what you heard, you like the content. You'll leave comments, you'll hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen out. We're going to wrap this up with our rapid fire session where everybody's going to take 30 to 45 seconds to say whatever's on mind, and then we're going to wrap it up. Aaron, what you got, big fella?
All right, just a daily reminder that Breonna Taylor's killers are still free. And one of the officers involved in the shooting just appealed his termination, and I hope to hell that he does not get his job back. And the other two are only on administrative reassignment, not actually terminated, which I think is absolutely wild. Justice for Breonna Taylor.
Facts. And let's not forget that that's still an important thing that we're trying to fight against in America in general. So thank you for that reminder, bro. Mary Clay, what you got?
Yeah, like Aaron said, Black Lives Matter. They still matter, y'all. Pay attention. It hasn't gone away just because something not going on in the news. Also, wash your hands because Houston's in code red, and I don't think anyone else needs to be in code red because it sucks. Also, if anyone else, along with Arthur, would like to help pay any more of my bills, then you can
or
find
for her
that
Wi-Fi, or for her microphone,
or get me some new Wi-Fi and a cell phone, pay my rent, whatever it may be. Just go ahead.
So you looking for a sugar daddy?
Sound like it.
No problem.
I mean,
hey, teach his own.
No shame.
I think that's illegal, but I'll say in my rapid fire, I think it might be some laws against prostitution. I don't know. But
it's not prostitution.
I would say.
Not doing it.
Go ahead, JV.
Sure. Okay. So I would say it's important to vote. I think, we have a nice movement going on right now with the Black Lives Matters movement. I think we got a lot of momentum going. And I think to really keep that going, really pay attention to who is running for office in your local jurisdiction. You already know who's running for office for the president. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, that's up to you. But know who your circuit judges are. Know who's running for mayor. Know who's running for Senate. Know who's running for your state Congress, because that's who's controlling your daily life, whether you like it or not.
That's facts, and that's something that's understated, I think, especially for people around our age and younger, bro. So thank you for that. And I'll conclude by just saying, again, thank you guys for taking the time to listen. We love you all. We appreciate you guys. If you don't know the name Elijah McClain, look it up. That's all I really got, y'all. Until next time, everybody, peace out.